Welcome to Ando's Thinky Time podcast. This episode is just me talking about my art and my various projects that I'm working on and new things I'm going to get interested in. It's sort of like a spoiler alert for the next couple years of my work. Cheers. Welcome to the show, everybody. Let me get this joint lit. There it is. Welcome to the show. Thank you very much for listening to Ando's Thinky Time podcast today. Today, I don't have a guest here with me. It's just going to be me. I want to give you an update on my world. Kind of tell you what I'm up to. You know, I've really been expanding my horizons this year. Most of you, I think, must know, but those that don't, I was in a band not so long ago called the Prairie Scholars. And we're not doing so many shows anymore because that's a two-person band. Me and this lady named Jessica, who's a delight, of course. And we got a divorce. And so we're playing together less often, as I think is, I think that's preferred, by the whole world. So I'm doing fewer of those shows. So I've started to kind of rebuild my art world and kind of redefine myself in some different areas. But also I've been using it as an excuse to sort of broaden my horizons. I'm still doing lots of music, lots of live shows. I'm still playing 4 and 5 nights a week. And then the other days I'm usually podcasting or making videos. But, let's talk about that. Let's talk about my YouTube videos, because you're listening to my podcast right now. Lots of good episodes here. I hope you're listening on YouTube, because my numbers are public there. And it's good if I can show how many people are actually listening to this. Not that it's all about the numbers. It's really not. It's all about me creating and pushing out content, because that's what feels good to me. That's what I would love to do in the world. But it is nice to be able to show that people are actually listening to the show. It makes it easier to book high-level guests, like people running for Congress, those kind of folks. It's way easier to talk them into coming on the show when they can easily look up how many people are watching. So I hope that you're watching there, but mostly I hope that you're listening to the show. I really enjoy producing it. But on my YouTube channel, you'll find all these episodes, as well as other videos I've been doing. I have several videos about my garden. It's a constant battle, of course. I think I even did a video where I injected my flowers with dye in an attempt to make them more beautiful. And it was an experiment, and it was both a success and failure, because yes, the colors did work through to the petals, but it was a lethal injection of beauty, I'm afraid. Because what eventually happened was, the water went through the flower and got evaporated back up into the sun, or however the fuck that works. And it left behind this kind of crusty residue that was the dye that was inside the water. So when you get crusty residue inside of a flower, it turns out it kills them as fuck, man. So we killed a lot of flowers. I say we. It was me, but also I did it for you, to share some beauty. I did it for us, because it was for me too, I'm the purveyor and the consumer of that particular piece. So, did a lot of that. There's a documentary, like a 40 some odd minute documentary about an art show that we did here at the house in the back garden. So if you'd like to see some of my paintings and whatnot on YouTube, that's the place you can see it. Also, I've been doing a lot of designer fragrance reviews. Designer fragrance is such an interesting art form. Oh boy, you got stoned. Designer fragrance is a super fascinating art form, and I've been collecting fragrance samples and a few full-size bottles of it for the last 2 years or so. And I've started doing videos that are just kind of about, I don't know, different fragrances that I have run into and what I think of them. And I don't know, I've been doing fragrance reviews. What a strange thing, I guess. I didn't expect that to be really part of my life, but God damn it. I didn't expect any of the shit that has happened in the last few years in my world. I'm just trying to keep being true to myself, and that means to keep interacting with beauty, to keep making my art, and keep expressing myself with those two things. I'm happy. I'm happy where I'm at now. And boy, I gotta tell you, I wear fragrances every day. Maybe I should eventually do a video about how I use designer fragrance. Because, like today, for instance, I woke up, it was about 7, and I put on Artisan Aqua by John Varvatos. And it's kind of this, I don't know, it smells like, I think, like a very classy well. Or something like that. But it wears away in just a few hours. It'll be gone by, noon for sure. So that means by about 2 or whatever, I'll probably be putting on a different fragrance that I'll wear throughout my gig here tonight, up in Fort Collins. By the time I get to my gig, I'll have a different scent. It'll bring me into a different kind of mindset, and it'll be fresh, so people will smell it on me and stuff. It won't be all worn out from the morning. And then that'll probably wear off by, midnight or 11 or so. And when it does, I'll probably even put on a third fragrance to kind of like enjoy in the evening. Usually it's a weirder one, or a particularly pungent one, one that I don't think the general public would want to smell on me all the time. But, or an out of season fragrance. Like I could put on like a really sweet, something like Paco Rabanne 1 million, which is not the right fragrance to wear today. But if I wanted to smell that tonight, I could put it on my little wrist or something like that, and really enjoy it through the evening, man. And I wake up a lot at night. I always have. I wake up, 5-6 times a night, pretty regularly, and that can be very frustrating. So one thing that I do is when I have a new fragrance on my wrist in the evening, sometimes I'll wake up at night and I'll feel frustrated, but I'll smell a beautiful smell that's different than the night before, and it sort of brings me into the moment, and it lets me kind of say, yes, we're awake. Yes, we're not being rejuvenated with beautiful sleep, but here's a little candy. You know what I mean? Here's a little happy smell. Relax. The world is beautiful, and it's not so bad to be awake for it. So that's how I've been using it. Maybe I should do a video on that at some point. Spoiler alert. I've also, so that's kind of a rundown of my videos, I guess. Is that sufficient? And reviewing fragrances. Golly, I think I told you everything I'm doing there. I'm also releasing new music, though, and that's coming out on the YouTube as well. It's just Andy Epler on YouTube. So I just released a song a few months ago called "We Build the Gods," and that did very well, man. I've had a lot of people download that. It's been getting radio play here in Colorado on a few different stations. That's been fun and strange, you know. And because it got on the radio in such a funny way. It's sort of a weird song. It is about artificial intelligence and the future of humanity's relationship with it. So the song is called "We Build the Gods." So obviously, what I'm saying is that the robots will out-evolve us, basically, and that we should be very careful about that. And it's kind of a fun, dark song. It's a very dark topic and presented even lyrically pretty darkly, but there's a lot of joy in the music. And and so I sent it over to my friend, kind of like just, kind of tee hee hee, look what I made kind of a thing. And, isn't this a fun song or whatever? And he was like, great, let's just put that right on the air. And I was like, yeah, but no further questions, I'm not going to second guess that. And so I just sent him the WAV file. And he started putting it in rotation. I was so pleased. The people at the station seemed to like it. I gave it to him exclusive for a month, as a thank you, the first month. And now it's on other stations and stuff. I'm I'm kind of surprised. I'm surprised. I didn't write that song to be like a radio single, but I released it as a single, and I think I'm going to do that for a while. I really enjoy putting out just one song at a time. It kind of lets each song have its moment in the sun instead of being like track 7 on some 12-track album and feel kind of like lost in the mix a little bit. This is such a strange song, and it got such a strange result in the world. I found it very encouraging. So I'm writing other songs now, just singles, and boy, I am enjoying it. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I'm doing a new one. It's mostly a keyboard-driven song, and it's way more of an R&B kind of, even kind of a poppy, I don't know, electronic kind of sound. I could have never done that with the Prairie Scholars. We did a little bit of synthesizer work on our recordings because I've been into it for, I guess I've been into synthesizer stuff for like 10 years. But I never get to use it because we played country music and kind of like, I don't know, kind of a rock and roll country. And every time I used synthesizer, it always seemed just a little bit out of place somehow. I think I mixed it in the best I could over the years, specifically on what albums? Specifically, there's synthesizer on the Prairie Scholars album, The Wasteland Ramble. There's some synthesizer there. There's more synthesizer on the previous album, Strangers in the Modern Era, that came out in 2010. And there's some synthesizer from my 2009 album, Disease in the Heartland. That's just a solo album by me. I guess I peppered in some synthesizer through the years with that project. Those various projects, I guess. It's strong, but this next one is way heavier synthesizer and I don't know, electronic drum kit, that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm into it. And I'm just going to make it. I'm just going to goddamn make it and put it out. And everybody's just going to have to deal with it, I guess. Or not. Ignore it completely. That's an option. I know for sure that that's an option because my 2008 album was a spoken word poetry album. and that has been largely ignored by the masses. Maybe for the best. Maybe for the best, because I haven't listened to it in a long time. That's not true. there's a there's a story there. I'm not sure if I can tell that. I won't tell that. But I did listen to some of that album with a person recently, in a funny circumstance, and I found it to be quite humiliating. The album is, look, you should look it up. It's awesome. It's called Dark Places, and it is a spoken word poetry album, and it is very produced. And I took it very seriously, as I do all my silly projects. I really took it seriously, and I did. I put my whole heart into reading those poems, and I even did some 2 short stories. And in the short stories, I did voices and stuff. I did it like a radio play. I did it like a radio play. Oh my God. It was, I went hard, dude. I really put my whole soul into that project. And it was quite embarrassing to listen back to, I guess. But I recommend it. Most people seem to ignore that album, and that's kind, I guess. I'm not pulling it. I'm gonna leave it out there forever. That's part of the story, Dark Places from 2008. It's good. I was deep into my whiskey phase, and I was very depressed. I was 2 years into being married, and I was like in my early 20s, and I was playing in bars, basically exclusively late night bars from 10 till 2 a.m. in the morning, several nights a week. And then I was working day jobs, various types. And boy, I was just working really hard and not really loving life. I was pretty depressed. And that album is definitely... Boy, it's definitely part of that story there. So there's this is an awesome, weird episode, man. It's fun to sort of recap and let you know some shit. Thanks again for listening to this. My new song, I guess I was explaining, is sort of a dance tune, and I'll be telling more about it soon. If you would like to hear it as it gets put together, you could just go sign up for patreon.com/Ando the artist. If you did that, you'd be able to hear these songs before they come out. That's sort of one of the privileges that the Patreon folks get. If you're interested in that, and I hope that you are, go sign up, man. You'll dig it. That song should be out in a few months, but one of the things about it is I'm going to do a music video for it, and it's a dance song, and I'm not a dancer. I have never learned how to dance, I can intuit, some movement or whatever, but it is very uncomfortable, and I'm very self-conscious about it. I danced at my wedding. I dance sort of impulsively or whatever, but very rarely in front of people. And I don't know any dance moves. You know what I'm saying? Not really. But I'm going to dance in this video. I'm going to work hard and learn how to dance. Because I think it's a skill I'll enjoy. I think it's something I've been afraid of somehow. Afraid of judgment, maybe, or... I don't know. I don't really know why I'm so bothered by the idea, but I love it that I am. I am totally bothered by it. I'm totally uncomfortable with the idea of dancing in public. I don't know why that is. I'm so bothered by it that I'm going to force him to do it. So I'm going to be learning how to dance, and I think I'll be doing that in public as well. I'm going to go the whole way. I'm going to make YouTube videos of me learning how to dance, getting ready for this music video. And then when the music video comes out, you'll be able to say, oh, okay, there's that move. Hey, look, I saw him do the move. Hey, he did it. Look at that. Or, boy, he could have done it better or whatever. He didn't shake his pelvis enough. I don't know what the fuck it'll be. But that's a thing. That's part of my life coming up. I'm pretty excited about that. So that's kind of the music front. That's what I'm doing. I'm kind of moving forward on that stuff. And all that music is, of course, at andyepler.com. And if you'd like to listen to the music for free or whatever, go to Spotify. It's there. It's probably on Pandora. I haven't really checked that in a while. Maybe it's not. I don't know. iTunes, it's on the places. And I'm excited that this new song, the one that just came out, We Build the Gods, I just put that out for free. It's a single. It's on iTunes. If you want to go download it, you're welcome to. Listen to it on Spotify. That's great. You can look it up on YouTube Music. It's there. Google Play. It's on all the places. I just hope you'll ingest the content. I'm not going to fight you for the dollar. If you'd like to support me, I hope you'll sign up at Patreon. Patreon.com/AndoTheArtist. That's the ideal place to support me financially if you'd like to. And there are lots of unique benefits there. Blah, blah. You know that. I just talked about that earlier. Here's another thing I'm doing in my world. I am trying to get interested in a few new things that I've never gotten interested in before. And one of them is sports. Boy, I have never given one fuck about sports. My only real interaction with sport was basketball. And I played that in junior high, and I basically got kicked off the team, because I didn't like basketball, but I had to have some sort of, elective, I guess, some sports physical thing. And I was sitting there running drills with these other kids, and keeping up, and then, shooting the hoops and shit. Not doing terribly. I'm not like the worst player, but I'm definitely the mouthiest player, because mostly I just enjoyed heckling the other team. Kind of like, not like really mean or anything, but just sort of annoying people. And I was playing a very mental game. And I was on the B team anyway, and we sucked asshole. We were terrible. And basketball was the big thing at our school. It was a Christian school. That's part of my story. If you'd like to read about my story, about my childhood and how strange it was, you can read my book, which is called New Reason, New Way, How My Skepticism Changed My Art. That's available all over the place as well. But I went to a Christian school when I was growing up. I'm no longer religious, but I went to that school, and basketball was like their big thing, dude. It was so important to them. And so everybody, all the boys were pressured, like, hey, you got to join the basketball team. That's the thing, So we all tried out, and I'm on the B team. Because, I'm not like a star player. I don't deserve to be on the A team at all. I think I may have started out on the A team and got moved to the B team. I think that may be right, because I was tall, too. I was tall, and I think they were maybe short on tall kids. But yeah, that's right. I think I was on the A team for a month, and then I got moved to the B team. And they thought it was really going to hurt my feelings, but I was just like, I don't care. We're playing games. I have to do this. I'm not looking forward to it or anything like that. So no worries. I'm happy to sit on the bench and smile at the other team and wave and try and get their attention and stuff like that. That's beautiful. That was how I was playing the game. But so I did that through 7th grade, and I played the B team. We sucked. And by 8th grade, or maybe even by the end of 7th grade, I switched over out of basketball to physical education. Just PE. We could do dodgeball. We could play with frisbees. I mean, it was where they were just filing the extra kids because we had a coach there, but he was barely ever around. He was kind of, it was beautiful. It was perfect for me. But when I I didn't just like choose to leave the basketball team. I had like accepted my fate that I'm gonna have to fucking play basketball and I don't care and whatever. But one day, one of the assistant coaches pulled me into the locker room and they're like, "Hey, you don't care." And I was like, "Yes." They're like, "You don't care about basketball, and we're all trying to sit around and care about basketball, and you need to care or you need to go." And I was like, "I could go?" He was like, "Oh, well, yeah, you could sign up for PE." And I was like, "What's a PE?" They were like, "Oh, it's just like, general athletics." And I was like, and when are the games? And there are no games. I think I'll do the no games. That sounds great. So it was mutually agreed upon that I should leave the basketball team. And I did. And I went to PE, and that was beautiful. It was very, we were pretty unwatched, is probably the best way to say it. We just kind of did whatever we wanted. It was a good time. So that's my only real experience in the first person with sports, except that when I get really, really deeply high here at the house, sometimes I'll get my basketball out and I will shoot hoops because my house has like a little basketball goal built on it, back in the garden, and some cement or whatever back there. And so, like, I don't know, when you're wicked blazed, like you eat a bunch of weed and you get to kind of a psychedelic space with it, which you can if you can stay awake for it. I like to get that basketball out and air it up and shoot some hoops because it does push some button for me. Maybe it's like just a nostalgia thing where it's like, oh yeah, I remember being a kid and playing a little game and having fun and, not enjoying the competitive thing and not really enjoying the people I was hanging around or anything like that. But, it's fun to shoot a hoop and, fucking, especially horse. That's kind of the game for me. Nice, like, stand still, shoot a hoop. That's good. I don't like all this running around bullshit. That's not for me. So that I guess that is my entire experience with sports. And I'm missing out on something. I find that so many other men, especially, seem very interested in sports. And I've always just said, well, that's just an outgrowth of tribalism, which is one of humanity's worst characteristics. They say it's just another line between us. Like, oh, I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan and I'm a Denver Nuggets fan and I'll fuck you, that kind of thing. Like we need way less of that in the world. But sport is a unique category, and I haven't really been giving it the thought that it deserves. Basketball. I'm going to start paying attention to basketball. People get such an emotional charge out of these games. They cheer. I've seen people cry. I've seen people feel bitter disappointment. I've seen people feel like they share in a victory. That's all very attractive to me. That's very positive and interesting. Even the feeling of crushing defeat, you feel that in solidarity with the other fans around you. That's a beautiful thing, and I feel like I've been missing out on it. So the trick will be finding reasons to care that much about basketball. So if I'm going to go on this journey, I need to pick a team to root for. Now, I'm from Texas, and there are several basketball teams in Texas. Shall I name them? Let me see if I can. Dallas, the Mavericks, right? Houston Astros. No, that's different sport. Houston Rockets. Houston Rockets. San Antonio Spurs. Is that it? I think that's it. I think I nailed it. But I don't give a fuck about that. And like, I'm not really from Texas anymore. I'm like from here now. I've been here almost 10 years. And I don't know. I want to go for the local team, the Denver Nuggets, because it's all just kind of an arbitrary choice what team you decide to go for. I might as well go for the one that is here, right? Because I do love this place and I love our culture. I'm in love with Colorado deeply. So I'm going to go for the Denver Nuggets. They're going to be my team. And I am going to learn everything there is to learn about this. If you listen to my other podcast I do with my friend Greg Benton, he's the lead singer of Native Station. We do a podcast. We record it every Monday evening. It's called The Late Weekend Show. I believe that is on, YouTube and Spotify and all that kind of stuff as well. If you listen to that show, then you know all about this already, this Denver Nuggets thing, because I've been kind of flirting with it for months now. Greg is not a fan of the Denver Nuggets. He's a fan of the Los Angeles Lakers. I don't really approve of inanimate mascots. So Nuggets and Lakers, that's not very pleasing to me. There's a team called the Raptors. That's the fucking coolest shit ever. You know what I mean? The Hawks, that would be good. Even like the Dallas Cowboys from the footballs. That's cool. At least like I can envision a cowboy and like, oh yeah, he's kind of like intimidating and powerful, sure. Or the Bears, or you know what I'm saying? Even like the Mavericks. You think of like, okay, yeah, they're kind of like renegades. They're out there. They're fucking doing their own thing and shit like that. But the Nuggets, this rocks. That's not very cool. That's little rocks, like gold, I assume, nuggets. Not very good. Lakers, that's a fucking hole in the ground that has like rain in it or some shit. It's just not very inspiring mascot. You know what I'm saying? Team names. Bullshit. I will say this. You get yourself a lake, and then you want to defeat that lake. I think the Nuggets have the best chance to do that, because if you put enough nuggets in a lake, no more lake. You know what I'm saying? No more lake. Because it's full of nuggets now. Now it's just like a field of nuggets. So the Nuggets beat the lake every time, I think. But they're Lakers, right? They're not the lakes. They're the Lakers. What the fuck does that mean? Dudes that hang out on lakes? Weak. I think Nuggets beat that too. You stand on the shore and you start pitching nuggets at a motherfucker, knock them in the head, they fall in the lake, DED, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Nuggets win. But none of this has to do with sports. See what I'm saying? So I'm not very well motivated by the right shit yet. I'm still dialing in. But I've decided to become a fan of the Denver Nuggets. How many players can I name? Very few. Nikola Jokic, he's one. Jamal Murray, maybe. Oh, there was another dude who had like the double first name syndrome. Gary Harris. Yeah. Is that right? There's a dude named Plumlee, but I don't know his first name. And that's all I know right now. I'll be really happy when I can name the starting five. But that I'm pretty far out from that because I'm terrible with names. And I'm still trying to figure out why I can be interested in basketball. Like, I give a fuck about some points. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying. I'm trying. Why are points so meaningful? Because you add them up and you win the game and shit. But you can't take a point home. You don't really win anything. You just like some paperwork changes. You know what I'm saying? They should fight over a trophy each time, and then maybe I'd be. If it were a physical thing, I feel like I would care more. I want to care. I really do. It's tough. It's tough to conceptualize this for me. Basketball, help me. Help me find the way to be a normal person that likes sports. My ultimate dream is that I go on this journey and maybe even take a few of you with me, where we're all kind of learning what's interesting about sports and why we like it. And, maybe we can all boost our friends, the Denver Nuggets. I feel like if they would just add green to their color spectrum, the Denver Nuggets, they could just start going by the Denver Nugs, and I think they would increase their following substantially overnight. Now, I know that, like, people in the NBA aren't allowed to smoke weed. I think that's like a thing overall. Nobody that's in the organization is allowed to. Even individual teams, I don't think, are allowed to say, you guys can smoke bowls if you want. I mean, I'm sure they already do. I'm sure, everybody that gets told they're not allowed to smoke weed, is a candidate for smoking weed. But, so it might be a problem there. But if they would just brand it a little bit, when somebody says Denver Nugget, I think the modern context doesn't have anything to do with gold. I think the modern context has way more to do with weed, friend. Cannabis. Because that's the only kind of nuggets that are in my life, dude. Anyway, I'm going to try and get interested in the Denver Nuggets. And I'm going to try to make it interesting for you guys to follow along with. I'm about to release. I'm going to just talk about the Denver Nuggets. I'm not going to talk about anything else I'm releasing. I'm going to finish this episode out on the Nuggets. I have a video game in my house now. My cousin, who lives here, purchased an NBA video game. And I have been plugging it in every once in a while to try and learn about, the Denver Nuggets and like how they, who plays what position, and get used to hearing their names, and you know what I mean? Build a relationship, by playing alongside them in this. We'll see. I'm not very good at the game. I feel like I'm really holding the team back, frankly. But, it is what it is. And I'm not a proud man. I don't have all the skills in the world. And I'm bad at basketball, both in physical reality and in video game world. And that's okay. I think the Denver Nuggets are not a bad team. I think they're a pretty good team. They're all professional basketball players. I'd love to interview some of them. I have so many questions, of course. Maybe I can get somebody to come on the show. Maybe I'll try and reach out soon. If I can have politicians on, surely I can have, give me the water boy or whatever. Give me the C-list, free throw guy. I don't know how it works. Let me talk to an assistant coach. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how that works either. Let me just talk to the dude that airs up the basketballs. You know what I'm saying? Or a referee, maybe. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be really fucking cool. I'd almost rather talk to a referee. That seems fucked up. Because like they get yelled at all the time by big, strong athlete dudes. That's a weird life, Also, half of everybody you meet when you go to work fucking hates you, you know, because they think you're calling for the other team or whatever. It's got to be at least half that, you know, think that you're an idiot or blind or whatever. God damn, that'd be an interesting interview. But I'm going to reach out. I'm going to try and interview one of the Denver Nuggets soon. So look for that. Thank you very much for listening to this episode where I just rambled forever about things I'm doing in my life. I'm fat today because I did a YouTube video where I ate a bunch of breakfast burritos within like an hour of each other. No, all within the same hour is the way to say that. I ate so many goddamn breakfast burritos. Just to celebrate breakfast burritos, I guess. There wasn't a lot of purpose there. I was just interested in breakfast burritos yesterday. Or the day before. Oh, God. My days are running together deeply. Oh, so much cheese still in my system. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in to all of the various art forms that I'm working in. Thank you so much for your attention. Your attention is like oxygen for my art. Thank you very much. Boom.